This is a review of the key concepts. It says Algebra 1, Semester 1, but it really truly is Semester 2. So, and looking at some of the things, actually it is probably a combination of Semester 1 and Semester 2, but I think this would be good for us to do to kind of brush up on some things before we finish up with quarter 4 material. So we're going to start off by looking at concept 1, and it says to simplify, and that would mean that I need to distribute and then combine like terms. So negative 6 times negative x would be 6x. Negative 6 times positive 2 would be negative 12. Then I get to distribute this negative through, so negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x, and negative 1 times negative 7 would be plus 7. And now I'm going to combine like terms, so my 6x and negative 2x would be 4x. Negative 12 plus 7 would be negative 5. So the combination and simplification would be 4x minus 5. Concept number 2, we are solving a multi-step equation. The first step from our poster is to do distributive property first. So I'm going to take 3 times negative x, negative 3x, and 3 times 4, which would be 12, plus 2x, and then I'm going to write the rest of the problem. So that would equal negative 5x minus 8 plus 7x. If I follow the steps on my poster, it says to combine like terms on the left. So here we go. Negative 3x and 2x would be negative x plus 12. On the right, negative 5x plus 7x is 2x minus 8. Now I'm going to bring my variables together by adding x. So 12 equals 3x minus 8. And I'm going to solve for x by adding 8. 20 equals 3x, and I'm going to divide by 3. So x equals 20 thirds. Concept 3, it is a proportion and we have to solve. So we would multiply across diagonals. And when we do that, that would be 5 times the quantity negative x minus 1. And negative 3 times the quantity 2x plus 3. So following the poster, we're going to do distributive property first. Negative 5x minus 5 equals negative 6x minus 9. I have no like terms on either side of the equal sign, so now I'm going to bring my variables together. I'm going to add 6x to both sides. That leaves x minus 5 on the left and negative 9 on the right. And finally, to get x alone, I would add 5 to both sides. So x is negative 4, and that would be your final answer. Concept 4, it says solve and show solutions on a number line. So this is definitely a problem that we'll have to use the poster. There's a couple of distributive properties here. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 4 would be minus 12. Then we have 5 times 2x is 10x. And 5 times negative 5 is minus 25. That would be less than or equal to 4x minus 10. On the left-hand side, I have like terms of 3x and 10x for 13x. And I also have negative 12 and negative 25, which would be negative 37. This would be less than or equal to 4x minus 10. I've got to bring my x's together. So I'm going to subtract 4x from each side. And I would get 9x minus 37 is less than or equal to negative 10. So to get the x term alone, I'm going to add 37. And I'll bring down 9x less than or equal to 27. Dividing by 9, this says x is less than or equal to 3. And we have to graph that on a number line, and it's been a while since we've done this. Remember, on a number line we can kind of just cheat and put the number that we need, so I'm going to put a 3 here in the middle. Less than or equal to means that when I do this, I'm going to have a closed circle, and less than or equal means that I shade to the left, including the arrow. So that is x less than or equal to 3. Concept 5. Concept 5 says find the slope. So we will have to use the slope formula, and our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. With the ordered pairs that we have, I'm going to use this as 0.1 and this as 0.2. So I'm going to take negative 5 minus negative 7 over 4 minus negative 2. Okay, we do not deal in double signs, so minus negative means that's going to be a plus on the top and on the bottom. So on the top I have 5 negatives and 7 positives, so it's 2 on the top, the bottom is 6, and would be reduced to 1/3. The slope between those 2 points then is 1/3. Concept 6, put in slope-intercept form and graph the line. So slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So first thing I'm going to do to try to get that in slope-intercept form is I'm going to add 2x to take it over to the right. So negative 3y equals 2x plus 9. I'm going to divide everything by negative 3. So y equals negative 2/3 x minus 3. To graph this, you start with the b, so that means the negative 3. So on my y-intercept, I'm going to start with a point at negative 3. My slope being negative 2/3, I'm not going to rise, I'm going to fall 2, and I'm going to run 3. So my next point will be right here, and then I will put a line in between those 2 points and arrows on the ends. And that's putting an equation in slope-intercept form and graphing the line. Concept 7. In Concept 7, it says find the y-intercept. Well, when we find the y-intercept, that is where we let the x equal 0. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, and on the y-axis the x value is always 0. So you plug in 0 for x. I'm going to put 2 times 0 equals negative 4y plus 12. 2 times 0, that's going to make that 0 equals negative 4y plus 12. Now I just need to solve for my y. So I'm going to subtract 12 from each side. Negative 12 equals negative 4y. And I'm going to divide by negative 4. So y, my y-intercept would be at 3. Concept 8 says find the x and y intercepts, and then it would want me to graph it. So we did this in quarter 2. So for the x-intercept, that is where we let y equal 0. So I'm going to write negative x equals negative 3 times 0 plus 6. So negative x equals 0 plus 6. Therefore, negative x just equals 6. But I'm going to divide by a negative 1. And my x-intercept is negative 6. So on the x-axis over at negative 6, I would put my x-intercept. My y-intercept, just like the last problem, y-intercept is where x is 0. So I'm going to put 0 equals negative 3y plus 6. I'm going to subtract 6 from each side. Negative 6 equals negative 3y, and divide by negative 3. So y equals 2, and that would be my y-intercept. So on the y-axis at 2, I graph that point, and now I put my line in between those 2 points, and I've graphed it using the x and y intercept. Concept 9. write an equation of the line, and this one gives us the slope, and it passes through a line, negative 4, 1. We're going to do our checklist, and we know that m equals negative 2. We just have to find the b. So I'm going to do y equals negative 2x plus b, and plug in this point in the right places. So 1 equals negative 2 times negative 4 plus b. So 1 equals 8 plus b, and I'm going to subtract 8, and b would be negative 7. So my equation is y equals 2x minus 7.